Welcome into our lives.
And welcome to the Expanders Club podcast.
We're so happy to have you.
Join us as we embark on a journey of deep exploration, soul searching, and asking the hard questions.
With the goal of truly understanding the most aligned, empowered, and purposeful versions of ourselves.
We want to live an extraordinary life, and we're willing to dig deep to find out what it takes.
Buckle up. You're about to meet a new version of yourself, an extraordinary one. All right, my friends, hello and welcome. And maybe most importantly, welcome to Cancer season. I have a special co-host with me here today. We're going to get into that, but let's talk about Cancer season because, hello, I'm a Cancer. This is my season. Christina, how are you feeling? I am like so amped up. I'm so amped up. This is the energy of this season. It just gets me, you know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I don't play favorites, but I will say I'm very compatible with Cancers. I deeply understand it's a really soft, nurturing opportunity for me to just flow. And so I see you, sister. And I'm emotional. I'm already just so emotional.
Oh God, yes, I know. I mean, my best friend is a Cancer. She just had her birthday this week, and her husband asked us to send a video for him to make this compilation. And like every video, I had to do it a few times because I'm just like bawling in the video. She was my college roommate, so we've been best friends for a long time, and it's very emotional, but also for me. So I'm a double Cancer sun, Cancer moon, and an Aries rising. And my whole life has been my Aries era. Let me tell you, like I have been in my Aries era, and now I feel very much like I'm settling into my Cancer area, which is of course my truest self. And it just it's feeling really good and really peaceful.
Good. Yeah, I feel that from you too. It's nice to be in the aura of that with you.
Yes. So hoping this is an abundant and joyful and peaceful and loving season for all of you. I think it's going to be.
Oh yeah. And if you don't identify with Cancer at all, just reorganize your house a little bit. Just bring in something nice and cozy, light some candles.
Yes.
You know, there's ways to emanate without going into the depths of your feelings.
Yes. Yeah. Spend some extra time with loved ones. Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
And Christina, you are here as my co-host because today is number one of a very special project we are launching, and I want you to tell our audience about it.
Yeah, so we decided to bring the magic of what we do live to people who might be curious about this type of work, might not have the accessibility to this type of work, from all different backgrounds, all different experiences. And they come on and they ask us a burning, juicy question. And there's vulnerability, there's laughter, and each of us bring our unique gifts to be able to give them and channel spirit wisdom and guide them to their highest selves and their soul alignment. So yes. And so welcome everyone to the first episode of Ask a Psychic. In case you haven't gathered that already, Christina and I are the psychics. Christina, what's the official title that you go by out in the world? Yeah, psychic medium, spiritual strategist, energy healer.
Yeah, beautiful. And I go by Oracle and Expansion Coach, but kind of all leading back to the same thing. We're tapping into the quantum, tapping into expanded wisdom, and bringing in information to hopefully help others.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to, the whole goal of us doing this, one is obviously to help people. So we have, we'll get into today's episode in a little bit, but it's going to be a really fun and beautiful experience for us and for everyone listening in that space of just helping people, which makes my little Cancer heart so happy.
It's pretty big.
Yeah. But we also wanted to kind of make all of this psychic work, spirituality, the language of spirituality, all just much more accessible and kind of pull back the veil on how it all works, because you and I also come from this deep belief that everyone can and should have access to this.
Yeah.
Is that right?
100%. And hopefully it inspires people to be more seen in their life and give them some tools to be able to open up their own inner intuition. Again, everybody has these psychic abilities and ability to restore their body back to health. And so, yeah, if we can sprinkle some of that magic outwards, it's just so exciting. I
Yes.
can't wait.
Yeah, I love this. So, what you guys are going to experience listening is essentially Christina and I both opening up in very different ways, which is what I want to get into in this episode. But we're opening up our additional senses to gather and gain access to information based on questions that our guest and client have. So you're literally going to be sitting in on a psychic session. This is a very vulnerable experience for our guests because obviously they're coming in with the question that's most on their heart and allowing us to access any and all information that can come in. And we don't always know what's going to come in, or really ever know what's going to come in before we enter into a session. So it's just a really beautiful collaboration between the two of us, the guest, the guides, the Akashic records, all of the things. There's a lot happening in these sessions.
They're very potent.
Yeah, and I want to start by, like I said before, you and I have a very different, we have a very different process and a little bit of a different flavor of how we like to access information. So I want to, talking about pulling back the veil, like let's just kind of talk about our process, like what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we arrived there. So what's happening for you when someone comes to you for a psychic reading?
Yeah. Usually they have a question or intention, and I always kind of preface that with, we'll start with your intention and we'll just go wherever the energy leads. And I'm able to clear myself completely out of the way. Often I kind of like brown out, like I don't,
Yeah.
I'm just channeling. And once I put up an energetic boundary, I have really clear energetic hygiene between me and this person, then I'll be able to tap into them safely. And so immediately I can start feeling in their body physical sensations, emotions that are trapped. I can identify like how old they are, where it came from, what messages it has to talk about. And the goal is to gently release it. You should be feeling better and lighter and brighter. So I just kind of name these things. And usually there's confirmation that someone is feeling that. And then through that, I'm also speaking from spirit. So I take a look at their future quite a bit. I don't try to linger in their past too much. We kind of just keep it moving forward. And I look and see what their highest self has to say, what their most aligned timeline might look like. And I offer them insight into what's coming. And then lastly, I give them tools to be able to access this intuition, their psychic abilities anytime. Well, I guess not lastly. Part of it too is mediumship.
Yes.
Right? As you see, like I'm able to channel ancestors who have passed, maybe spirit animals. We really don't know. We just see what opens up, and then we're able to kind of determine who it is specifically that might be speaking to nudge again them in their highest self's direction.
Yeah, and tell me about your process. Like, is there like an order of operations to this where you have a checklist of like, let me check your body, let me do this. Like, how does that work for you when you're in it?
Yeah, there's something like I would say I just ask, like, just show me where to go first. I like to go to someone's body first only because it's what they most intimately know in that moment and can be like, yep, like I feel that kink, on the left side of my neck. It's been bothering me for a couple weeks. Like we're right there. We're in the body. So it's almost like a permission slip and a little bit of a gentler inroad to that. I also do a meditation typically at the beginning to ground them, to get them accessing their highest self, to bring in divine source. So that's a big part of it. And then once I'm going with their body, I'm just like, what's this? And who might this be? And what are we looking at? And when did this happen? And, or telling them what happened.
So, and tell me, because you and I agreed to like hold each other accountable on some of this like spiritual language and make sure it's really clear for our audience.
Yeah.
Tell me what is, you said bring in divine source. What does that mean?
Yeah, that can be a lot of different things. There's so many names to it, and I actually qualify with the person I'm reading, like what words resonate and what doesn't. But there's an agreement that there's this energy force, this intelligent life wisdom, this oneness, this higher power, this God, this divine source energy. I mean, we can go on and on, but basically, it's just this sense that's outside of your ego self, outside of all the parts of you that are going to come in and tell you why your highest, most aligned purpose can't happen, right? And so we just kind of get that out of the way, and it's this other unconditionally loving flow of energy that you tap into.
Yeah, I love that. And that's something similar. I mean, a lot of this is similar. You and I just kind of use different language and have a different process, right? But the ego, that's kind of similar with my beginning process with my client is like, let's let the ego know it's okay to like chill for the next hour or 45 minutes, whatever the time is we have together. Let's move the ego out of the way, kind of disarm it, and like let it go take a little rest.
Yeah. And it's not easy, it's a practice. And so I'll gently nudge people and check them, and be like, who's talking here? Is it yourself or do we want to channel something else? So.
And tell me, are you accessing guides? Are you seeing guides? Are you accessing angels? Like, what's that experience like for you?
Yeah, I just open it up completely and trust whatever flows in will come. I like to say it's not like a phone call where I can just call up grandma, Although I will say often it's not a promise, but if you have that intention for someone to come through, that will happen. Spirit babies are pretty common, that have something to say. Yeah, I just completely open it up and see what comes through. And I'm able to describe quite a bit about this guide, and sense them, see them, hear them. I can have tastes in my mouth, like there's just so many ways. And then obviously feel in my body physical sensations that are these guides or this person being read. So yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I think I've been doing this a lot less time than you. I've been doing it for others for 9 months. But man, every single time there's so much learning and information that comes through, right?
Yeah.
And so my process has evolved, and I wonder if you feel this way, but I think it's kind of like, at first it was like, yes, let me open up to all and everything that wants to come in, let it come in. Let me find answers for this and that. Like anything you bring to me, I can find information for. And while that was true, I did not enjoy that. Like I, had a few situations that I just felt like a lot of times the questions we're asking as humans, like, don't matter. Like, as obnoxious as that sounds, like I would get into situations where I was like, you're just asking a bunch of questions that don't really matter. Here's the root of what you're asking. If you can heal this or work on this, none of this other shit matters.
Yeah.
So that was frustrating. It's like, yes, I can pull information for these very human questions, but like, it's so freaking boring. And I think it's interesting because I don't know if you know this, but I started my really accessing I like to call it the quantum, really accessing the quantum, really accessing this greater field through the Akashic records.
Yeah.
So, the way it feels to me, and I think the way it's understood in the spiritual world, if you had like layers of, guides, angels, whatever, the Akashic records is like way up here. Not that higher is better. It's just like you have to go further. Right, to access them. It's a very different perspective. It's not always a perspective that fully resonates in the human world, right? And so I would open someone's Akashic records, and then they'd be asking these very human questions, which I totally understand.
Yeah.
But the master teachers and loved ones don't give a shit about that stuff. They don't have, like, it doesn't make sense to them, I guess, or they don't have the answers that you would satisfy your humanness.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'd find myself kind of bouncing between layers,
Mm.
or at least that's how it felt to me, and that's how the language I have to express it. I felt myself bouncing between layers in sessions, and that was really exhausting. Like
Yeah.
bouncing between different levels of knowledge. I was like, this just isn't for me. The where I thrive and I'm the most comfortable and I can um, translate in the most impactful and meaningful way is in that higher level, the Akashic records, the your higher self, your soul.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like want to be answering the human questions, and I know, and I think that's really frustrating sometimes because
Yeah.
not everyone is ready to be like, oh yeah, that was very human of me. Let me like have a higher perspective or ask from a higher perspective.
Yeah.
Um, but I think with readers, like this is something we really dedicate our
Mm-hmm.
lives to, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's more than just the reading, it's the prep, it's the, you and I had talked about this, and maybe we'll get it into it in a different episode, but it is your whole life is like prep for being in someone else's energy and reading for someone else. Like
Yeah,
you said,
absolutely.
so
No, you
it's
bring
kind
up a great point. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, so
Mhm.
it's like I'm gonna do this how I want to do it. Like I'm gonna
Mhm.
do the style of this that I want. And for me, that is that higher, let's really tap into the soul level, your highest timeline. Like who gives a shit about all this stuff in between? That's
Mhm.
just human stuff. And obviously that's not how I talk in a session because I know that's like the dance that we're doing,
Yeah.
right? Is
Mhm.
elevating the humanness to these higher levels so you can understand what I'm seeing. But
Mhm.
yeah, I've really shifted the way that I work to like, hey, come to me for anything, to like know if you're ready to access your most expansive self, your highest truth.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
Yeah, that's so beautifully put. And, like, I love that we have different language to kind of say the exact same thing. And I would say most psychics and oracles, etc., in integrity would agree that this is their process. I look at myself almost like a conductor of an orchestra. I open it up and there's so much energy
Yes.
and so many things, including that person's, parts, including their ego. But really what I'm doing is I am only a channel for the highest source information, that quantum, as you said. And I think about it like a waterfall coming through a beautiful filter where we're leaving everything that is not meant to be addressed or looked at necessarily, that are in a lower vibration quality of asking, and I filter all of that beautiful, clear source energy water through all of the layers and anything that comes up. And my style is pretty direct because I really have the confidence, and over time, especially, to just conduct and to just
Yeah. Yeah.
navigate and to just bounce and be like, this is where we're going, because I am speaking from that highest source place. Like there is no room for other things. And so I don't get tempted to be pulled in, but I've definitely learned hard lessons, with
Hmm.
that. And I will say too, I've been really fortunate because I set such clear intentions in my work and the people that I want to bring in how they're going to come in and where they are in their
Yes.
life in a
Yes.
place to be able to receive this stuff. And so usually it's a pretty excellent match because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does take a bit of confidence, and like, maybe it's the Boston in me, but I just like, I just, yeah, I filter it right through. And usually, again, it's people understand that it's for the highest good, and they're feeling better,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, just because it's direct doesn't mean that it's not mean or negative. Like I
Mm-mm.
have never felt when I've been tapped in, I've never felt negative energy. It is always
No.
so loving. It's for
Yeah.
your highest good. It's
Yeah.
so supportive.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes it might come through as a little bit of tough love, but it is very loving
Yes.
and very supportive.
Gentle. It's like
Yeah.
deep but light, I always say, And I
Yeah.
think that has to do with you and me. I don't know if you've ever had a bunch of readings from different psychics, but man, there is a big spectrum of types, and I have left a couple just feeling awful and like icky and like, what was that? And I
Yeah.
felt a little violated in my energy
Mm,
and,
mm-hmm.
things like that. And so I think, so much of I don't want to speak for you, but what I know of you is like we have so much love and integrity in this space, and we can read where someone's at and how slow to go or how gentle to go. We're not pushing anyone anywhere, but we are, yeah, holding them in the most loving thing. And what a treat, like that I get to like hang out in that space. Like
Yes.
every reading, I'm just
Yes.
like, oh, that was great.
I
I
know.
love
First
it.
of all, even the energy is just so healing
Yeah,
for everyone, for us
yeah,
and for
yeah.
them. It's like you can't come out and not be uplifted in my
Hmm.
experience. And also like I fall in love in a certain way with all of my clients. I'm
Oh,
just
of
like, you
course.
are incredible.
Uh-huh.
And I think my biggest frustration is because I see what I experience as their highest, brightest, biggest, truest self. I like, I'm just like, you are so incredible and so
I
amazing. And my biggest
know.
frustration is that I can't just like bundle that up into like an energetic ball and put it in their heart so that they know and
Yeah,
see
I
what I see.
know.
So many times I'm like, if you could see what I see, if you knew you the way that I
Hmm.
know you, like you would
Yeah.
have no doubts, you would have no fear, you would have no
Hmm.
concerns, you wouldn't have this worthiness issue. Like it has really been a beautiful thing for me to change my relationship to humanity,
Yep,
if that makes sense. I'm just like
totally.
humans are actually we're incredible. We
Yeah.
are incredible, and the core of at least everyone that I've experienced is so freaking beautiful and phenomenal.
I agree. Honestly, I was seeing the world like that so much longer before I started this work, and I started to become really confused why people didn't see each other this way, or people would
Mm,
receive me like, "Whoa, you're like this is way too fast for you to even friends like to see me this way. Like I don't trust it, like and
yeah.
I'm like, "What do you mean? Like you're amazing. Like this is great." Like immediately. And so I started to understand like what is this about me? And then find other people who did feel that way. And I'm like, oh, I feel seen. And I'm like, oh, they're healers. These
Yeah.
are people in the spiritual community. These are people in even, the scientific backgrounds of studying human behavior and brains and, biohacking and, herbalists and all these things. Like we all kind of agreed. So I started to find actually this work because I just felt so strange in the world.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I was like, I need to sing the beauty from people that, yeah, ask me to see them that way.
I love that. And it's so interesting that you share that you'd been seeing it before doing this work. I had too, but not in a way that served me. Like
Mm,
I've always had this like, they say like what's your superpower? And it's like mine is always I can see people.
mm-hmm,
Before I was talking this language, it was like
mm,
I can see who you are. I can see your highest potential. I can see who you are at your core.
mm-hmm.
But it's actually gotten me in my business life before I understood the full energetic work of it. And now I understand how to read their highest timeline, right? And also understand
Yeah.
where they are
Yeah.
in
That's exactly it. I'm like,
that journey.
oh,
Um,
there's benefit to taking the
eh,
rose-colored glasses off and being like, but this is where they're at. That happens with my
yes.
dating life all the time. I'm like
Oh,
off in
yeah.
this like, cloud and everything's good. And I'm like, wait, what are they doing though today? And are they acknowledging themselves in this highest timeline? Or are they acting from a place of like, yeah, low vibration, low self-worth, fear,
Yes.
avoidance, whatever it might be. Like I got trapped in that in
Yes.
my dating life. I was like, where am I?
You're like, wait, but that's not you. This isn't you, but this is you. And yes, that's
Yeah.
where I've had a few issues in like business relationships where it's like, oh,
Mhm.
I can see this person's true self, but that's not how they're showing up and
Yeah.
acting every day. And that's been its own journey. I learned those lessons in the human world. And now that I understand the energetic world, it's luckily a very different experience with that. And it's a really beautiful thing to be able to see someone's highest potential and
Hmm.
also have this understanding of where they're at. And
Yeah.
a lot of times we can see if they even are going to have the ability to reach that highest potential too.
Yeah, and that's not up to us, I realize, like to fix it. We can only
Hmm.
offer and trust that it's downloaded in some part of their soul and being. And, worth noting too, part of what you and I are excited about to do here in this series is be a little bit of a counterculture. We are not spiritually bypassing in this space. There's no spiritual positive toxicity here. There is real human behavior and there is accountability that we need to take for our lives. I just went through the hardest 6 weeks of any amount of time I can
Hmm.
remember. And you're just in it and you're working through it and you still bring in all of these tools and have space for your human and other people's human, and it's a really beautiful dance between being on earth and saying these are things that are working, that are not working. I have to face it. I can't just escape into the realms of quantum to just
Hmm.
ignore like the fact that I have to talk to a lawyer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like these are things that are hard on earth. And I think you and I really want to say, look, we'll meet you there on
Yeah.
earth, but we're going to give you options of paths that kind of unfold, including holding yourself dear when you do feel difficult feelings or you act like a jerk or you want to clean up a communication or whatever it is. And so I think that's part of it too, is like as much as we can go and expand into the ethers, it's like, hold on, where are we here first? How are you behaving in relationships? What do you need to tackle in your life that's hard? How can you hold yourself accountable first before pointing the finger at anyone else? That sort of stuff. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I think that's a really good representation of really what we're doing is we're bringing information that can help you certainly journey toward your highest timeline, but you are doing it in
Mm-hmm.
physical form. You're doing it in this human body, and that on its own is such a gift, but also
Mm-hmm.
comes with all
Yeah.
the things. And like, we're not saying like, let's all just float off together into the ethers. Like, you decided to be a human.
Yeah.
And so let's jump between, like, let's have a foot in both worlds and let's like help make the human process a bit more exciting and
Yeah.
easeful
Fun.
and peaceful and
Mm-hmm.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
play human, which is the totality of the experience.
Yeah.
No, it's so true. And it is fun. Like it can be fun, even though you're in the midst of it, not feeling fun. The big picture playing is fun. And angels have communicated many times, I wish I had a body. You have no
Yes.
idea how fun it is
Yes.
to have this human experience. So
I
please, like, live it, you
I
know?
know. I have to tell you,
Yeah.
I do a little, this is so silly, but after my own like morning routine, sometimes
Mm.
it's an hour, sometimes it's 3 minutes. But I always do like a little huddle with my guides and like
Yeah,
give them
you
a hug and a
do.
squeeze and like, and also it's like, hey, I'm out here living for you. Like, we're
Oh,
doing this together. I'm out here in this
yeah,
physical form.
that's
Like, let
beautiful.
me show you how good a day the day can be. Like, let's do this together.
That's
And
so sweet.
it's really silly, but it's like, oh, the energy that goes through my body, and it just feels like you're hugging your favorite family members. Like,
Yeah, it's resourcing ourselves and filling us up with love. I think this will be definitely another episode of like what we do to get ourselves there. I have a really strict morning routine too, and I say an abundance prayer, and I just ask the divine source to like speak through me, move through me, you know, write through me, whatever it is.
mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, allow me to be a channel for your highest good, for the best good of all of humanity, and just sending love, like yeah, to the whole entirety of energetic
Yeah.
existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to touch on, I just want to, because I think people like, I want to give the human brains listening something to grab onto and grasp onto. And I want
Yeah.
to share, like, this is how kind of my day and my processes work as far as like what I'm accessing. So in my operating day to day, taking my daughter to school, getting the groceries, all of that stuff, like, my guides are just there. They're just there. My higher self 98% of the time is like centered in me, like centered and whole. My highest self is leading the way, and then my guides are around just like supporting and helping.
Yeah.
Before I do a session for someone, I like to do some prep work, and I will take their question. I'll know their question ahead of time, and sometimes with my process there's a few questions, so I'll just look at those questions and I'll access my guides and like find the best like path or the best gateway into the information that we are going to want to share. So I'll usually have them be like, okay, this one part of the question you asked, let's ask that when the records are open or when we're tapped in.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm actually in through my process, I will usually I open the Akashic records. I used to like religiously do this specific prayer to open them. Now I don't have to do it as much. Sometimes I will. If it's someone that's really close to me, I'll usually do the prayer just to get out of my own head, you know. But if it's someone that's not close to me, I usually don't have to. I can just tap into that higher awareness, and I will literally connect. Like I will see their soul and bring their soul into. I have a very special place where I like, you know, like to hang out, that I've created. I'll bring their soul into that place with me. So my highest self, their highest self, we're hanging out, we're talking, I'm talking to their soul, I'm connected to their soul. Their guides come in, just like you said, there's like this, you know, array of characters that show up. Their guides come in, but then I have one ear. This is how it like physically feels for me. Like I have one ear that's up in the Akashic records with the masters, teachers, loved ones. So we have this whole group that's bringing in information. We're trying to access the highest possible message, the best possible message. And then we have to do our work to filter all of those voices through and spit it out in a way that makes sense for this person, right?
Yeah.
And can actually help them.
I love that. You're so clairsentient. You hear, you feel. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have in my day to day, I have a lot of knowing too. And I guess in sessions, there's a lot of knowing also. But yeah, I like the visuals help me, and the hearing, I hear a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a process. A lot of times I'll start feeling sensations in my body that are pretty like strong, like the night before. Okay, here's an example. I had this really intense dream that my molars were removed and my molars were like hollowed out. And I woke up, I said, this is not for me. This is this client. And so I wrote it down in my journal. And sure enough, I said, you know, we came on and there it was, the jaw pain, that back molars, the wisdom teeth space. And I said, you know, what's going on here? And she was like, I think I have hidden infection from my wisdom teeth a long time ago. I've been looking into holistic dentists for the last 2 days. And I didn't realize that was going to come up today. But I guess I wanted guidance, like to go this route, and that it's okay. And so again, like you really have to discern, like, and it took me a while to be like, oh, this isn't mine at all. Otherwise I would be like, oh no, my jaw hurts, or what's wrong with my molars? And it's like, no, this is not about me. And so, tapping into that person. And that's why the meditation in the beginning of my sessions is so important, because I bring Mother Earth into it, and then I help them journey to their highest selves. So they're an active participant in it. And then we go in there to their highest self together, and I can hear names of their highest self and, you know, images and whatever it is. And it's like, shoom, all of a sudden there's just a tunnel, and I'm just there, and I'm seeing all of the timelines of their life, like their past, their future, their worries, their secrets. I can't tell you how many times I've see a secret in a space, you know, and they're like, I've never told anyone that, you know, and it's so tender to just kind of bring that forward. And so, it's just, it happens like at a speed that I don't think I can even understand exists. You know, and then I just have to trust what to say. And there's a lot of pausing and me being like, which way do I go here? You know, and asking like, is this them pulling me there? Is it for the highest good? Like, where do I go? And just like being and listening with that. So, yeah,
I think there's just so much to be accessed, right? And there's so many different ways to do it. And I think hopefully that's exciting for people listening. Like there is so much outside of our five senses to be accessed.
I will say, if you're a beginner in this, the one place that I started was tarot cards. Pick up a deck, play with your friends, you know, ask a question, see what happens. It's a tangible thing. There's a book with an explanation about the cards that you can read. This is a really good inroad, you know, pick a crystal, you know, whatever it is, or a comfort item. Some people write and scribble, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what I teach in my workshops of psychic practice circles. I'm like, bring things, just bring
Yes.
items, let's
Yes.
play, let's see what it looks like. It could be rocking back and forth, whatever it is, like, let's play. But I would say, yeah, to the listeners, like, just get a fun tarot deck. It can be an oracle deck, it could be a regular deck. Like, that's a really good place to start.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. It's like the tools to get kind of the logical brain out of the
Yeah.
way and to also see the repeat, like have those repeated moments of miracles and like what the heck and like
Yeah.
how,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you say how, if you do that every morning and it's like, okay, it's been 2 weeks of every morning, I'm like, how did I get that information or how did that answer come through? Then it's like, that's how you start to believe like, okay, there's
Mhm.
something bigger at play here, something bigger I'm accessing. But the last thing I want to touch on is something important that you brought up with the feeling your client's energy the night before is that's been an interesting journey for me as well. And is an interesting piece of like one closing down after a session and
Yeah.
separating the
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
How do you do that? And like, is it successful?
Yeah, I would say it used to be very hard, but I had to
Yeah.
get training, and again, this is a practice. And by the way, all the tools that we use as psychics to open and create energetic boundaries and see, like, this is for everybody in the world, And so I come into it, yeah, I have a very specific process that I do to open up the space and time. I say, keep me in my energetic sovereignty. And then I close the doors to time and space. But before I do that, I seal everything and name every, like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of touch on everything that came through to seal it and complete it and restore them to all that is whole. And then I release my energy and go back into all of my energetic sovereignty, my own body's wisdom to move through the day. But I have to do that, like, just by going to the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like, when I come home, I actually lay in bed and I just release all of the energy that I picked up back to its rightful
Yes.
owner, where it
Yep.
belongs. And it's like a displacement. Like, I actually fill myself up with so much love in my own resource and my own body scan and my own understanding of where I am in time and space, that it sort of just, like, I'm so full of me that it just releases and lets go of anything that's left. You can do this with houses and whatnot, but it's not easy. And there's times, with like family members or loved ones where it's like, zoom, the information comes. I wasn't intending to, but this is stuff that I needed to know, and so it just hits me over the head. But yeah, yeah. It's interesting, and I don't, yeah, it's not that dreams are really hard, the veil's really down, right? So here I was being like, I was
I
dreaming,
I
like,
know, I know.
ah.
Sometimes it's like so not fair.
Yeah.
I have that too. Certainly early on, I would be getting information at all times. I wouldn't close
Yeah.
things properly
It's hard.
and I'd be like, I can't get out of this funk. What is this
Mhm.
energy?
Mhm.
That I nipped in the bud very quickly, like you said, with some training and some understanding of my own energy, how energy works, moving out their energy. But I still get that too, like with my mentorship clients, like
Yeah.
with a single session, it's a little bit different. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes a day or two before I've stopped, so I won't even read their questions until the day of
Yeah.
the
Smart.
reading, because as soon as I read their questions, I'm starting to get information.
Hmm.
So now I don't do it until the day of the reading. So that helps,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
still even if I'm not sitting concentrating, some information will come through. But it's harder with mentorship clients that I'm like available to at kind of all times. It's like that's when you just really have to know what's yours, what messages are for
Yeah.
you and what messages are for them. And that's where I think it's like a more sophisticated practice and the evolution of just like really understanding energy and how to read it.
It's true. And again, as I teach psychic practices for other people, I explain it as not a wall, because we're so loving and we're so in love with our clients, and, like, of course we care, right? But there has to be a separation. And so instead of putting up a wall, I create a golden river. It's flowing, it's alive. I am on one side of the riverbank and they are on another riverside. I also have to really trust their adult selves, that if
Yes.
they need me, they have access to send me a voice note, to write it in our hub, to write an email, and that I will receive it when I'm ready and I'll be able to drop in. And so that way I'm not like floating of like, what happens if, or what if they're doing this? It's like, nope. There's going to be time, and they are in their own sovereignty, and they can reach out, and I will help them at the right appropriate time when I can and drop in.
Yeah.
So it's pretty effective that way too. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a wall, it's a golden river or something that is flowing and alive.
Yes. And I think with us sharing all this, I hope you guys are understanding, like, this is not like luck that we've been able to tap in this way, and it's not simple either. It's not hard, but it takes a little bit of training. It takes it takes a lot of personal work first.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have
Literally.
to know and love. My feeling is you have to love yourself unconditionally in order to do this work properly. And that's maybe a subject for another day. But it takes a lot of work on your own personal journey to get to a place. And then it is this constant, like, up-leveling of how you read energy, understanding energy, how you maintain your own energy, how you work on communicating to clients, where you're pulling energy from. Like, it's a craft. It's a craft, and it's a really beautiful one. And just like anyone could learn how to paint, or anyone could learn how to sing or play piano, it is just like that. But you have to have the intention and, the willingness to do it right.
Yeah. And feel safe, feel body safety, feel okay to open up,
Yes.
Because emotions can be overwhelming and they can be hidden and stored for a long time. And so there's time that you have to spend in your body to let it know that it's safe to open up to like other realms, And so, yeah, we could talk about this like all day.
I love that you just said that, because I feel like safety is the precursor to unconditional love. Like, you need to feel safe, then you can get to unconditional love. And yes, we'll go into all of this. We're so excited to be able to have these conversations with each other, to have them with and for you guys. We are open to discuss and bring forward topics in any direction that are exciting and interesting to you. So please DM us if there's ever anything you want us to talk about.
We love you. We want to hear from you.
Yes. And our very first session together, our very first client together, Olivia, was such a gem.
What a gem.
Yes. Yeah. I still, like, I've thought about her soul like a few times since our reading. I'm like, she just has such a fun, big, like, ready to live soul.
Yeah. And she's already done so much, moving towards that. And so it's really beautiful to meet her where she is today and see how much further she has to fly and go.
Yes.
It's really incredible. And she's so sweet. And it was such a potent reading. So I'm excited for people to hear it.
Yeah. Excited for you guys to hear it. Excited for you to learn about Olivia. And her question was on love. So I'm sure that's very relatable to a lot of you. And, as with everything, because we are all connected, some of the information that we pulled for her is going to be information that some of you need to hear as well. So we hope it resonates. We hope you feel the beautiful, uplifting energy of what we're doing. And we can't wait to share more and dive into all of these sessions with you all.
Yes. Thanks for listening. We love you.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. Enjoy the episode.
May you keep me in my energetic sovereignty, and Brooke in hers, and Olivia in hers. The doors to time and space are now open. You can blink back open.
Thank you for that, Christina. Olivia, I don't know if you can see, but I'm already crying. Christina, that was really beautiful. And Olivia, just so you know, while Christina was doing that, I'm like half listening, and I'm doing my own little process too. And my behind the scenes of my process is I bring your soul into a very special place with me, and we get to hang out, and your soul is just like so warm and loving and like magnetic. So I'm really excited to dig in with her. Now, your topic is about love. And I think this is one that I think your question is a question that a lot of people out there have and are looking for the answers to. But can you tell us a little bit about what's leading you to ask about love?
Sure. So I got divorced about 6 years ago to the person that I thought I was going to be with forever, but it was a very emotionally and psychologically abusive, narcissistic relationship, and got me and my kids out of that situation. And it's been 6 years of healing.
Wow.
With a lot of healers and people like Christina, and doing energy work and therapy and writing. I am stepping into the next level of my business. We're doing great. I'm really proud. But I'm a Pisces. I'm a romantic.
Oh, we love Pisces.
Yeah, and I keep saying to people, I know that he's out there. I have zero interest in dating. I don't want to sit at a coffee table and hear about, who you are. I don't care. I want my one guy, he's out there, and my standards are very high because I've been through a lot, and I have 2 boys from my life, but I know he's there, and I feel like there's a blockage of like how he can get to me or I can get to him, and I'm very open. Like, he can be anywhere in the world. I am not picky when it comes to a lot of things, but I do have certain things that I want. He must be gentle and funny and kind and like Muppets. Honestly, Muppets have to be number one because that tells me a lot about you as a person. And he has to be willing to step into a stepfather role. I have an amazing stepfather, and someone that honors my career trajectory and wants me to be successful and sees who I am. And I guess what's been hard for me is I know who I am and what I bring to other people's lives, and I'm an amazing person.
Yes.
There's got to be a twin soul out there for that. So I just feel like it's like a rom-com, and there's like all these things that are like against me, and so I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, the good news is the rom-com always has a happy ending.
That is true, yes.
So that's great news. And I've been getting information as you've been sharing that I'm sure Christina has. So let's ask your actual question, and then we can start to bring in and share the information.
Yeah. Christina, did you have the question, or do you want me to?
I was going to have you say your full name for me
Sure.
3 times, and then...
And that's my legal name now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what resonates, yeah.
Okay. So Olivia March Howell. Olivia March Howell. Olivia March Howell.
Thank you. Okay, your question, my love.
I feel like my soulmate is out there, but there's like a blockage that's keeping us from each other. What am I supposed to be doing right now to release this blockage?
Okay, great. Well, first of all, trust your intuition, because that is true, right? There is a love to be had, a partnership with a man. And the first piece of information that's coming through is there's actually 2 energetic babies that aren't your own children. One is your business, actually. It has a lot to say, and it's taking up a lot of space in your caretaking. And you feel like this is just getting started, and you feel very protective about bringing a new person into that space. And so I wouldn't call it a blocker. It's just more of a little bit of time buffer between you and this partnership. Now, the way to kind of soften and ease that, I'm hearing, is to start to work through trusting that who would come in that wouldn't take away from the business, but actually pour into you, therefore pouring into this business. I actually don't see him as someone that necessarily has to totally get what you're doing day to day, but they're more of an acts of service person who comes and shows up for like the basics of life so that you can shine. But you have a sense that you're like, I'm just like in the middle of this shining thing. And so your career is actually, like that third baby that you're like, I'm just so protective of it.
Yeah.
So softening that experience is one. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. And when you're saying that, what I pictured too, and well, like I said, is I really wanted a family unit. Like, not that me and my boys aren't a family, but somebody that can share that load with me. And one of my career blockages that I've been working through is the fear of success means abandoning my kids.
Yes.
And so having another parent, I guess, in that life that adores them as much as I do, and I can go, bye, I'm going to California, whatever. Like, you know, that would mean everything to me. Because right now I'm holding myself back from opportunities because I don't feel like I have a co-parent in that way.
Exactly. Spot on. Again, that's your intuition really speaking through. And again, like really, really letting go of the part that's like, he has to understand my business. No, he has to understand the family and the basics of family and taking care of the kids. Now, the other part of that, which is really interesting, is he has a kid as well. And it's a boy. And there's also been a child loss in his life. I'm not seeing necessarily that it was, it feels more recent. In other words, he was in a relationship where there was a possibility to have another kid or not, and that option was taken away, and it really put things in perspective and stress on that relationship to ultimately come to the decision that that is not the right partnership. So there's also a time buffer there if we think about him and really wanting him to take the space to really come clear with like, what co-parenting looks like, letting go of that relationship. It's not a ton of time. We're not talking years in the future, but when you envision and meditate on this person, I want you to like send love and be like, you need just a little bit more time. That's okay. I need time with my career baby. We're just forming. And you know, as we know with time and space, it's not real. So moving with that, you're actually going to speed up the meeting of him.
Okay.
He's taller than you, not much taller than you. Okay. And he's not a water sign. I would look for like an earth sign. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we need some earth in there.
Yeah.
And Olivia, I'm literally seeing like you have physical armor on you right now. You have been to war. You've been to war. Literally. You're just coming out of it. And I know it's been 6 years, but it's like your body, your brain hasn't really processed the fact that like you can take off the armor. It is safe to take off the armor. It is safe to put down the sword. You have everything that you need right now. Like you could go on the rest of your life and not find your partner, and you would be happy. You would be, you know, fulfilled. Yeah. Like you would have a great life. So I think there's this like catching up that your body, your brain, some of your energy has to do with your soul of like, hey, we're safe. We're here. Like we've done it, we've done the hard work, let's take off the armor, let's put down the sword. So how do we get you to feel safe? I feel this this energy of like not safe, kind of like just like scanning the area at all times. Am I safe? And then am I actually worthy? Like, am I worthy of this big life that I'm dreaming of? And I know we can say the words and say that we're worthy, but I really wanted to dive into how can you embody that, because I think that there's, as we all have, right? Like you have this vision of what you want out of a partner, and then there's a little bit of like, but am I actually worthy of that? Like, do I actually live up to that standard? And I can tell you absolutely do. And it's just about shifting the energy around you to feel safe and to feel worthy.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I could feel that brought up some emotions.
My heart was racing. Yeah.
And your heart was racing, and it gets stuck right here, Olivia. I don't know if you've had any like migraines or headaches or pressure and sinuses lately.
My ear has been killing me.
Yeah, it's like I wanted right in your ear. It comes up here, and then it's caught like fluid in your ears.
Yep.
And so we're not releasing it out of the top of your head. And so that's part of your the pain that you're feeling and discomfort. If we work on it on an energetic level, obviously we're not medical doctors and you want to take care of all that stuff.
No, but totally.
But yeah, the somatic and energetic reason. So let me just take a moment. I'm going to clear that out. If you can envision, it literally looks like, and Brooke, I'm not sure if you're getting the same thing, but it feels like a coil, like almost like a copper coil in there. And it's conducting energy, but it's not conducting the energy out. So what I'm going to imagine is that it's really good for conducting energy, but we need to we want to release it out of your body so that those emotions can be felt and kind of dissipated as you feel them, okay? Mm-hmm. Does that resonate for you?
100%, yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So yeah, just going to take a moment here. Imagine that coil into your ear. Yeah. Ooh.
I just felt it in my ear.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A really important message too, Olivia, is coming through from your soul, and it wants you, your soul wants you to know, like, you're free. You are free, and like life is good, and you deserve a good life. Like, as I said to you before, like there is this magnetism and this like brightness and this joyfulness and like child-like energy to your soul, and she's like, this is our natural state. This is how we are meant to be. Like, can you meet me here? And I think a lot of there's some energy around your kids, your sons, and how they'll feel about you bringing a partner in. Mm-hmm. Have you had that conversation with them? Like, what is the...
Yeah, we have. And like, we actually manifest together because I want whoever comes in has to come into the family. It's not just for me. And they wanted a little sister, but I did feel that there was, I do intuitively know there's another child out there. I always wanted 3 kids, and I can feel that I also know I'd be an amazing stepmom. And so we do, and we talk about what would you like in this person, and what would you like, and what can they bring to the family? Because they have to only make our family better, right? We're already great.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, 100%. I could go the rest of my life. I have an amazing life. I could keep going, and I have a great life, but I want to share that with somebody.
Yes.
And I want my kids to have that person too. So, but I also, it is like it would be a big change, right? Like there's like a physical aspect to it. And I'm here for my kids 24/7. I have them all the time. So what would that look like to have somebody else come? And I live with my parents. So it's like, what, are they going to come upstairs to my childhood bedroom and like make out? Like, I'm like, what, so like, what does that look like? And so that does, I think, probably energetically hold me back.
Yeah, I feel like this partner brings in a lot of safety for all 3 of you. Like we can heal the safety plenty on our own, right? But sometimes we need that other soul to come in and just be that extra piece of safety that we can't be for ourselves. And I feel very much like he brings that to you and your boys.
Yeah.
It's that grounding, right?
Yeah.
That like the steady, sturdy. Okay. So a spirit's coming through. It feels like your grandmother, and she's holding a lot. Like, she's showing me she's heavy. And I don't know if that's like physically how she looked, or if it was the weight of what she felt she carried, or both. But she's purposely coming through that way to be like, it was so much, and it was in my body, and I didn't know how to take care of your mother, right, and etc. Has she passed on?
She did, and she was in a similar situation, and she did find somebody that she spent the rest of her life with. But and she used to say that I carried the weight of a lot of people too.
So there you go, the weight. And she's like, I just want for you to hold less weight of it all. And that she's releasing you from the ancestral pattern of carrying that. And we can conflate that sometimes, the weight of caring about people and loving people, with the burden of holding on as if it's your own. And so you really want to work on some energetic boundaries that are living and loving and moving boundaries, but that make it so that you're not carrying the weight of all of these challenges. And so she's going to be there as a guide to help you, because she's crossed over and totally understood all of this. And she is a guiding light for you, right? As an example. But genetically, it's like she passed on the patterning of what is happening for you. And she just wants to she's just going to take that off of you.
And I think that that's exactly what I did in my marriage, was I took on everything and there was no boundaries. I mean, I energetically was like a sponge for everything. And I know that I need to not do that moving forward with somebody, or it won't work.
Yeah. And that's what your soul is saying too. Like, it's time to to break the pattern. Like, you are breaking the pattern. This doesn't carry on past you. And that is like, it maybe historically has felt like a weight, but like it actually, like, the chains are coming off and it should feel like freedom.
Yeah.
And yeah, I already feel like some of the weight shifting off of you. Like, freedom feels like, I don't know how that word feels to you, but freedom feels like your soul just wants to like spin and soar and dance and sing and like be loud and like have fun and enjoy this adventure.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've done the work. You've done the work. It's behind you.
And I think
like,
it goes back to what you were saying too, like about the worthiness thing, because there's definitely a part of me, the little girl inside me, that is still like, if I'm that, which I know my soul is like that, but if she's like that, will I be loved in the way I needed to be loved and seen? And is it safe to do that? Or, you know, because I don't know if I've ever been loved by a man like that.
Yeah, the first intimacy step is, this is a lot of pressure to put on yourself, and we are working on expanding and ascending past your pressure for your ego self to take care of it. Like, if I do the work, if I do enough, if I clear this, if I heal this, actually this is going on far beyond you, from a source energy that is unconditionally loving. And so to start the communication with that source and say, actually, I offer this to you. I want to take care of things on earth that are like my business, you know, cooking, you know, things like that. Like, even just, you'll have more energy to go on dates. Actually, you say you don't want to, but you'll like it. You'll get out of the house and you'll be able to make out and in private.
Yeah.
And so that's the resistance, is like, you feel a lot of pressure to like do this, but let it go, because you've done enough work. To Brooke's point, is such a beautiful observation of your soul. Like, it's enough.
yeah.
One thing that, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I think if you can connect with her a bit more, and we can talk about some tools and tactics to do that, but if you can connect with her more, she's like ready to guide you. And she is so freaking phenomenal and badass, and like she is you, right? And so if you can just connect with her more, to Christina's point, like, there's not a lot that you have to do other than connect to her and let her guide you.
Okay.
One thing that's going to help, and I don't know if this is coming your way or already I keep seeing a necklace that you're not wearing, and you're being asked to like put on this necklace, and it feels like a touchstone or a jewel. It's like, I want to say like emerald or ruby, or dark purple, like something on that scale. Maybe it's all three actually. And it's something that haven't been able to give yourself or haven't put it on. I don't get the sense it's necessarily like an heirloom or anything, but it's something that you've been eyeing or thinking about, and it's almost like you feel like your neck is naked sometimes. Like, I don't know if you ever go like this to like
Probably,
hold something,
yeah.
but it's like you're missing like a conduit almost.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
In this space. So that's another piece of what she was saying. Okay.
All right, Olivia, how are you feeling? What questions is this bringing up? Like, what else can we dive into for you?
I think it definitely brought up like that I'm so much in that liminal space between like, I want all of these things and I know I deserve them on a logical level, but that worthiness part of me of like, well, I've never had this and I don't know how it feels. And I've had to be the dependent person my entire life. So what is it like to be free, right? To trust, really, what it comes down to. And also, like, I do have a strong intuition, and I'm never wrong when my intuition says that I'm right. And so I do feel that he's there, and it's frustrating, right? To be like, he's so close yet so far. Like, where the hell is he?
Yeah, I mean, the energy around you feels so good. It feels so supportive, almost like it's almost ready to like, Christina, tell me if you're feeling this. It's almost like if you could take a deep breath and just kind of like trust fall. There's like the energy is behind you, ready to hold you and raise you up and show you the way. Like, that is exactly how it feels to me. It's like, can she just take a deep breath?
No, that's the problem. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe that's like a lung thing, right? Like that place right here where we're like breathe in, have this touchstone to remember that. I love that analogy, Brooke, for sure. It's trust falling, but if you look at it too like a river, right? That you can be in the river and not know necessarily where it's floating you, but you know that it's a really beautiful river. And how good does that feel in your body as a Pisces, as a water, person? But that resistance, that wall that we're talking about creates that heaviness that has been the theme. And so to just go in the water and float, and if you want to do that like practice and tool in your life, I don't think you're getting in water enough, honestly.
100% that's coming through too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we need to, try to get you in that practice, even if it's like in the bath for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to even be a hot bath with Epsom salt. It just has to be like you in the water. You're going to get a lot of divinity there.
Yeah, Olivia, it feels to me like too, if you can get in that energy, I know you have kids, it's summer, like if you can take your boys on a couple adventures, this ideally if there's water involved too, but if you can take them on a couple adventures this summer and just commit to being fully present and in their energy of joy and fun and play, it feels like that's when you're able to connect to your higher self, your soul so much too. And like that also feels like your true essence, your true energy. So I think it's like practicing getting into, even if it feels uncomfortable, practicing getting into this true energy, the true essence of you, which is free, joy, fun, play, not worrying, not planning, like taking deep breaths, playing in the water. I can tell you for me, I'm a double Cancer, so I'm heavy water as well. And literally like the water is where I first started to connect to my intuition. Like, and now anytime I'm in water, I get massive downloads, like use the water as a tool. And if you can't get in water, visualize. I'm going to tell you a secret. You and I, our souls, we swam through a beautiful pool of water a few minutes ago to hang out in our spot where we were going to talk together. So like if you can't get in water, visualize it. It's just as powerful.
Yeah, I've had like downloads about kind of that swimming area for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, or even ingesting water and like praying into it, setting an intention in water or dropping a crystal in it and like drinking from it throughout the day so that there's just, again, just something quick and easy that you can do throughout the day would be really great. There's one final message I'm getting, and we don't have to get into it too much, just know there's a doctor's appointment you're putting off. Do the doctor's appointment. It's going to be neutral or good news. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. And so just make the appointment, do it. It's all good.
Just my regular physical, because I hate
there
going.
You go.
Yeah.
there's something about, again, that relationship to body or doctors or the thing, and you're going to be great, and it's going to be all good, and you're in the right hands, and you'll just kind of move on from it. So they just want to let you know that.
Okay. I think that came up, Christina, because I feel like that is a great moment it's such a small thing, right? Like Olivia, you're like, it's just my physical, but there is a similar energy, a similar like tense energy, uncomfortable energy to a lot of the other things that we're talking about with that doctor's appointment. So like push through, go to the doctor's appointment and make it fun. And anything that comes up, any of the energy that comes up, like recognize it, because you're going to have a much lower emotional attachment to it in that situation than you will in like a relationship situation. So let it be an opportunity for you to recognize the energy that comes up and work through the thing in a smaller, easier way than, and I think that like, thank you for bringing that up, Christina, because I think that it's a really easy opportunity that the universe is giving to you to like clear some of that tense energy and some of those stories that just don't freaking make sense and you don't need to be holding on to anymore.
Well, I definitely have that's just like a whole other podcast episode, but like a trust issue with my own body. Yeah. Right. So it's like, I don't believe that like I am really healthy or that the results are going to come back fine. And it's the same thing with like, I don't believe somebody's going to love me for my body or I'm worthy of any of this. Like it all goes back to trust and trusting that things are going to be okay. I have a very hard time with that.
Yeah. Little steps. And that's one of them, right? It's to be like, oh, it is all set. It is okay.
Right.
And you got the information,
right.
You took charge, made an action. Yeah.
And also like from my heart to yours, like it is going to be okay. Like it is going to be so good.
It always has been. And that's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Everything has always worked out for me in exactly the way it's supposed to. I journal that every day. Everything always works out for me, but I still revert back to the negative, right? Back to the, but what if? And it's like,
It's okay. The universe is going to keep showing up and giving you proof.
Yeah,
that
and this
everything's
is
gonna
so
work out.
normal. Brooke and I are the same way, it's a constant practice and evolution and true faith. And so
yeah.
And I think the last thing for me, I think if you can commit to what we're talking about, surrendering, like getting in more in flow, pursuing freedom, pursuing joy, pursuing adventure, if you can just commit to it for a short amount of time, say like, hey, there's 4th of July is coming, right? Like those 2 weeks, no one gets anything done. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So use those 2 weeks, plan a little adventure with your boys, like commit to, hey, I'm not going to worry about anything. I'm going to take deep breaths. I'm going to commit to being present. I'm going to commit to being in flow. I'm going to commit to the water. Any of the things, re-listen to this, any of the things that Christina and I talked about, surrender for 2 weeks. It's a small amount of time. Your brain can like let go for that. Your brain can be okay. Because right now, what a lot of the work we do is just to like bypass the brain, right?
Yeah.
Like let's get the brain and the ego out of the way. So like if you can commit to a small amount of time, the benefits and the rewards are going to be so big that at that end of time, you're not going to be like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to the old way. This is how it's going to be moving forward. And I think that could be really helpful for you.
Okay. I hear you.
Great. Okay, one final clue about this man. There's an F in his name. I don't think it's a middle name. I think it's his first name. So look out for that, or if you know anyone.
Ooh, Christina, can I ask a question because I'm not getting this? Does she already know him or no?
Not yet, but you have an idea of him. Like he's going to feel very familiar to you, but that's what I feel like you know his name already, or that you've heard it, or you've gotten that message, or you've thought of it. And so, yeah.
Okay. I love
Oh
it.
my God, Olivia, you have to keep us updated.
Oh, don't worry, I will. No, I appreciate all of this.
No.
It's so validating and beautiful, and it's so funny when you said you have to get in the water more, because my sister just said that to me the other day. She's like, you're not getting in the water enough, and she's very intuitive. So she's going to laugh at me and say, I told you so. So sorry, Jenny.
Yeah.
But do showers count too?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything with intention you want to bring in. So, yeah, in the shower, just bring more intention to the water over your head and your body and the way that it moves over your body.
Okay.
Yeah, will be great.
Okay.
Yeah, and let it clear anything that feels heavy too. When you're in the shower, or even I've done it before where I visualize myself under a waterfall and just like let it clear anything that feels heavy and that doesn't feel like yours,
And maybe,
watch it down the drain.
I was gonna say maybe take that time to like get a bath bomb or get something that like is self-care-y
I
for
love
myself. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I can do
Great
this.
idea.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a question we like to ask everyone.
Yep.
What is your psychic party trick? Some way that you know your intuition best, that it comes through.
I have this very weird thing about me. Well, I've been on social media forever, and I've dealt with social media forever, and so I have this weird intuition where if I want to connect with somebody, like a celebrity or somebody big, I often will open my phone, this is so ridiculous, to the exact second that they posted, and so I'm the first comment, and so often they'll see it. But it happens almost every time. So if I'm like,
God.
I want to connect with Glennon Doyle, I'll like open my phone and it's like she just posted, and then I'll comment right away. And it's honestly how I get like in front of these people's eyes a lot, because then they see my name first. And so I just have this weird thing about social media with that.
I love that, and I think that's just like such beautiful proof. Like the universe is supporting you. You are so supported, and it's just a matter of like, that happened enough times that you believed it.
Yeah.
And and you choose to believe that, and it continues to happen. So that's
100%.
That's how it works. Now just do that with everything.
I know. The internet has brought in, like Christina, like so many people into my life. I mean, every single person that's important to me has come in through the internet. And I actually, the day that I was born, exactly March 15th, 1985, was the day that the internet was born.
No
Isn't that
way.
crazy? Yeah. The first website. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild.
So I was like, now that makes sense. Once I learned that, it all kind of came together. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were meant to be.
Meant to
Your
be
energy was
together.
meant to be side by side. Yes. I love that. Olivia, thank you for
Thank you.
allowing us to see your soul, to be with your guides, for being so open, and allowing us to take a glimpse into your future. It's really beautiful. And
thank
the
you.
life you've created already is so beautiful. Your energy is so beautiful. Like, we can't wait to hear the follow-up because it's going to be incredible.
Thank you. You two are wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Sending you so much love, and I'll see you on social media.
That sounds great, Christina.